Welcome back to the rest of the story. And this is the product of the frost coming out of the ground. It's muddy. And Dad's just taking off the skid steer right now. Well, these are an assortment of our beef steers and heifers. We do have a few of the belted ones in here yet, which we are gradually getting them worked out of the herd because they are hands down the worst ones to handle. Just their nature. There's a difference between belted Galloways and Bulingos, and these are the worst of the two. Ideally, we'd like to get back to just having straight black Angus. We do have a couple white faces, an assortment of white faces in here, but even the white face calves are a little bit worse to deal with. You can see that big heifer in the back there, standing behind that belted calf. She was supposed to be a cut back heifer, but she was just simply too wild that she jumped back into the group of steers and heifers that we're gonna raise up and sell. She was actually supposed to be kept back, and you can see just the way they carry themselves. That is, you're around cattle long enough, you do start to pick out the ones that are just going to be mean and hard to deal with. Just the way they carry themselves. You can see how the way she carries her head. She's got up a little bit higher. She's moving her ears a heck of a lot more. And as odd as it sounds, I've heard it many times over the year that one has the look, as in that one has the look of she has no problem mowing you right over. So I do miss my Red Angus. My Red Angus herd, my cows, they were all good cows. I didn't have any mean ones in there, and ideally, that's once you get up to the number of cattle you have that you want, you get back to weeding out or culling out the psychos. That's part of every herd, and like Tyson has said, Northern Farmer, a couple of the crazy ones, I'm pretty sure Tyson said that. A couple of crazy ones on the farm aren't exactly that bad either as far as the cows go. They're really good deterrents for predators. So there is ups and downs to everything. Somebody was asking if we made any corn fodder this year. We did, but we just didn't make nearly enough. We got about 110. Well, we had about 110 before we started feeding them out, but we're about at least 50 short to be comfortable, and to be quite honest, another 100 sure wouldn't hurt. And the way the ground conditions are going, we had rain all last night up until sometime this morning. It's damp out. It's you see my hands, my fingertips are getting cold already, and we're done feeding cattle for the time being. But I just didn't record it. That was one of those videos that I lost. I went through, I think I did a video on raking, but I just didn't have the time to redo the video. Well, it's kind of hard to redo it when I haven't round baled since. My videos are a little bit more dependable now. I just quit using my added on microphone. This seems to work, so I'm just gonna have to talk loud enough everybody can hear me. We got them all hauled in and baled up in a matter of 24 hours. We hauled them in the next day, I believe, and we're stacking them like that basically to save space. When you get ice and snow and rain falling on them, that can be a little bit of an issue, but right now it's not so much waiting for perfect conditions anymore to do anything. So the snow is gone. They're saying a chance of 2 to 8 inches of snow, which nobody wants. And if we can avoid that, if we avoid any of that, and the ground can go back to freezing, which they're saying so, let's get back down to the 20s or so this upcoming week. I'll show you guys the Holsteins real quick. It's not ideal, which is kind of, maybe that's a good term for this year, for 2018 crop growing as a whole. Maybe that's a good phrase to go by, is that just, it's not ideal. So, well, all the Holsteins are out of the barn. We did go through, pulled out the last group yesterday, Dad and I did, and you can tell there's definite size difference in them and their playfulness. These two right here, this one and 23 for sure, they're smaller. They were in the barn for another month, compared to like number 19, like 24 of the red ones sticking their head out around the corner. Genetics, I'm not really sure what y'all want to coin it to. They were in the barn for about 6 weeks, unfortunately. They're about 6 weeks in the barn. They're in the barn for about 6 weeks longer than the rest of them that we weaned out. That's what it really took to get them eating and drinking consistently, where they were eating all the grain we were giving them for at least 2 weeks before we pulled them out of the barn, because now it is cold and damp, and you're talking snow conditions here. You can see number 15 on the end is making all the noise. So there's a bit of variance in these groups, but kind of contributes some of that to buying them from the sales barn, because you're not getting a consistent age group. The last six that we ended up bringing out, for all we know, they could have been 2 days old and maybe 4 weeks apart in age between all of them, and took a little bit more time to get them out of the barn, but I guess that's what it takes to make sure that they're not going to just drop over on you, because that's just money down the drain. So what we really aim for is to have them all out of the barn the same time, and have the barn filled up at the same time. But when you're filling the barn over a period of 4 to 5 weeks, buying as they're available, it's really hard to get that consistency and whatnot. So hopefully, if the ground freezes up and the corn fodder that we have yet to make, to be blunt, is not going to be ideal. But if we can get freeze dry to where we can rake it and bale it. I have about 20 acres that is already cut with the rhino cutter and ready to be bayed, but the problem is I don't know what it really looks like at this point. I haven't been out to check it, and after having all that moisture on it, I don't know if it's really going to be worth making or not. So I would like to go through at the very least and cut all of our standing stalks down if the weather is going to let us, just to get it on the ground and start to decompose, get it exposed to the elements and grind the stalks up. I do not like planting into standing corn stalks. I think was it Robert asked about planting into the standing corn stalks. It's not that we can't, it's just that I outright do not want to. I don't like seeing those stalks standing. I'd rather see that residue back down into the ground, and everything that those stalks, the residue, the nutrients, whatever that's still stuck in those stalks that are standing, I'd rather see it back down into the ground than standing yet next fall. It just ties up any remaining nutrients that could be used for next year's crop. That's my opinion anyway. So we've done the standing stalks, planting into it. We've done no-till, we've done conventional till. We haven't done strip till, and we're not really set up to do strip till across everything. On a farm by farm basis, I guess if we get maybe on our corn acres, maybe try it. into strip till. I like doing even the VT, even going through the VT with corn stalks in the fall that are going into soybean stubble. I really like that. I don't know if you want to contribute it just to the year, but my soybeans did yield about 5 bushels better just VTing the stalks last fall, and then VTing them once this spring, planting my soybeans into the ground like that. And I went through and I did harrow it, and that's all I did to it, other than, you know, spraying for weeds and everything throughout the summer. And you can contribute somewhat to the weather, but compared to previous years where I was chiseling my corn stalks and working them up and all that, just to plant the soybeans, I was only seeing, well, like I just said, I saw about 5 bushels less by doing more work. So I am doing reduced tillage in that respect. The thing that might get people going more is the fact that I actually like doing more of the full tillage on my soybean stubble going into corn. Soybeans, I just don't feel like they need the extra tillage. Corn, on the other hand, I like to see that ground kind of loosened up. You know, you're running the risk of erosion. Yeah, I get that. But the problem is, even on my no-till ground, just no-till, just planting into it in the spring, I've seen a lot of no-till ground that washes pretty bad, and I don't like it. I don't like tillage, or I don't like drainage issues causing ditches. But for the year we had water running where we've never had water run before, and I'm okay with just contributing that to Mother Nature, giving us the kind of water issues we had this year. I mean, we could go another 5, 10, 15, 20 years and not have those issues again. So it's kind of hard to make whole farm management decisions off of one odd year like that. So, all right, I gotta head back to the farm, and sounds like we're gonna be working in the machine shed the rest of the day. So thanks for watching. Take care, take it easy, keep in touch, stay warm. It's starting to get it's going to get cooler yet going into the rest of the week. So I'll talk to you guys later.